What's up, everybody? Welcome to the after show. Starting off pretty strong. Everybody seems to be popping in. Clive is finishing up with stats on his stream. Let me clean up my desktop here in just a moment. I can close that, leave that open. So, what's going on, everybody? Welcome. Seems that everyone seemed to enjoy when I was filling in for Clive. So every couple weeks, I'll do an After Clive stream. We'll see how it goes. The I don't know. Like, we got thermal woofles, we got the vertiwoofles. If you're new here, they're just modified versions of the Clive woofler. Where the hell did chat go? And there it is. And good evening, everyone. Let's just go with some random. There's Mouse. Something about a happy birthday, I heard. Christian Harrod, of course, is here. I'm sure we'll get to Kevin chat at some point. DC Allen, Franco Walker, Garbled User, Graham Shaw. There's Dan. Welcome, Dan. The Tron. Web Devi. Reb Looney is here. What's up? There's Osborne. Lock Watcher. Lots of regulars, maybe a couple new guys, dime bag coins. We'll do a thermal woofle at 45, so in about 10 minutes, and then we'll cycle around to the 30, and then we'll do our usual vertiwoofles and thermal woofle combo. Gazariths, howdy to you. Horrorvac is not here, by the way. Ashley Booth, nuts and proud, welcome. Good evening, Flossie. And thank you, Franco. Jack Attack, welcome. Keeping track. There's Craig. Welcome to the stream. I don't know how often have you been here? I'm not really sure. Live check. Thank you, Paul T. If you're joining late because you had a bio break or whatever, don't forget to check, make sure you are live in case you're following along with chat specifically. Steve Ward, welcome. First time. Clive, I think Clive was in here, wasn't he? Maybe he might be here. L. Morrison, Cecil County. What's up? How's the storms up there tonight? They're a little weird here all the past couple days. So, I guess if you're new here, I don't drink. I do cannabis. I literally stopped drinking years ago because I just got really busy and I would only drink on the weekends. So at the Snake Tank. And then like a year and a half later, I realized I just kept forgetting to drink. Because that's fucking weird. So and by that point, I was already using cannabis, and then cannabis got legal in Maryland, where I'm at, and so I do my toasts with coffee if it's early. Now I have tea, or I have my vapes, or I have a joint. So we'll do our first toast to Clive for helping out, getting everything done, getting home, getting here, getting you guys here, helping, hanging out. A little extended stream. I'll start doing the tail ends every once in a while. And I also do like video game shit and drone live streams and whatever. So I'm going to toast with some Northern Lights. So toast to all that stuff I just said. Yes, I live in marijuana land, James Randolph. So Mike can go. So cheers, toast, and toast to all y'all for stopping by. Mr. Maki, no, I wouldn't call Clive the warm-up act. I'm more like the clean-up act. I'd stop by afterwards to mop up the floors. We're in like the after-hours club. In Maryland, like all the bars and shit close at 2 p.m., and that's when a lot of after-hours clubs open around 12. And then they can keep serving alcohol because at that point you're in a private club because you pay $2 to get in the door and then you pay $10 for a beer, but you can drink past 2 a.m. because it's a private club. You get a bunch of those in Baltimore City. Really helps, with all the violence and crime and shit down there to be able to drink all night long. Hey, what's up, Lori? Clean up the filth, Scruff. Yes, Christian, I will. I will do my best. Oh, and in the background, I got more. I turned more shit on. There's the skull, the seizure panel, uh, fingers. Fuck, I'll just turn. Back that ass up. Mini pewter, mini supercomputer for mouse. There's one of mouse's seizure stars in there. I wanted to put it behind there, and then my candles that I got. Kind of decided I'd open the door today, just kind of let that hang. And no, and then of course you saw this little guy. Now you can't really tell, can you? Yeah, okay, kind of see it on my hand. Every time you bonk it, he changes colors. And then the last one is color change. I found that at Home Depot for like $10. Figured it would be a good opener. 1040. Let me get the woofle. All right, we're doing a thermo woofle next, but I should get the woofle cam set up either way. There we go. That's easy enough. Let me turn off the timer. Hello. All right, sorry about that. Just getting shit set up. I am an amateur. Don't mind me. Wow, we got a lot of people here, about 176 people. What's up? All right, what are we talking about? Caesar Star may impact sales. Yes, Monkey Man, that could be an issue, and welcome. I'm glad you found the link. Pint of beer at my local is only $3.50. Tree fitter. Mouse. Oh yeah, and I got a mouse pewter one as well. And I got like behind that panel that's not open is like another, I don't know, 16 or something of these, and a couple more stars. Like I can then. That's like my utility side of the cabinet. Oh, Gazarus, yeah, tank. That is a senior corn snake. She is 16 years old. Her name is Orihime, and she is standard red color for Maryland, but she carries a buff gene, which she passed on to her kids. Kind of a danger noodle, but she's cool. Actually, I have to feed her tomorrow. I have mousies thawing in the fridge. Do a poll for who wants kids on this channel. Okay, we can do that one. Let's see. Engage with your audience. Start a poll. Who wants or wanted kids? Want them? Nope. All right, there is our poll. Okay. Tech question, Mike and Co says, I made a lever for my old bike from aluminum and need to put a bend in it. Heat it or not? I would absolutely heat it. If you can heat it, bend it, and then if possible, drop it into some used like motor oil. If not, cold water. I believe that should help it some. Craig Matthews, do I breed danger noodles? I used to. I stopped in 2011 was the last time I bred. And they were just corn snakes. She actually had 26 eggs. Her biggest yield, I guess you'd call it. I don't know. 26 eggs. She hatched 24 of them, and 2 of them I had to go in with, they were egg bound. So I had to go in with a hypodermic needle, like under her belly scales, and actually like suck the goo out of them. So the eggs would crush, and then she passed them within like an hour or 2, I think it was. But yeah, clutch. Thank you. Yeah, it's been a while. It has been a while. I actually still have a couple. I use the little Sterilite containers that are like about the size of a shoebox. That's what I kept all the little snakelets in. That was a lot. That was a lot of pinky heads and a lot of pinky guts and feedings. That was good enough. That was fun. All right, it is 5:44. Let's get a thermowoofle ready. And as I've been cleaning up, I found my lighter that I bought like, I don't know, 6 months ago. And if we can get it to work. Are you kidding me? Oh, there we go. All right. All right. Thermo woofle. Oh, no, sorry. It's early. It's early. Almost there. Let me just hit this vape then. Is that a trick pole? No, that's good. Trust me, they're good when they're prepared right. Let's see. Thermocam. Nope. Thermofull. There we go. All right. Joop. What's up? And where should we put this? Oh, you know what? Hold on. Let me turn the fan off. And stop it quickly. Did I just thermojunk you? And there we go. Whoop. Oh yeah, bam, bam. Perfect. Boosh. One more. Hey, and I remembered to bring a rag to wipe off the fucking soap. Actually, that wasn't too bad. I usually overflow the shit out of it, but that wasn't too bad that time. Oh yeah, let's see. So that right there is my little that's my Echo, my Alexa thing. She didn't even fucking pay attention. What a bitch. And you can't see the snake because snakes are cold blooded, so they're the same temperature as their surroundings, which in her tank, I guess you can kind of see the warm area in her tank where her heater is on that end. Alexa probably is stoned. If she's got to live here, she's got a lot to deal with. And the pole here. So we have nope, 38% of who wants kids or want it. Nope, 38. They are fine if cooked properly at 32%, and they want them at 29%. All right, not bad, not bad. Let me fix the chair. There we go. So I got one of the plastic floor mats that you roll over that you put on top of the carpet to make it easier to roll around on. Option for feed to snake. Feed who to snake? The kids? She's too small to feed. That would be the Colombian boa I had before. She could probably take, small toddlers at least. But the plastic roll around sheet thing I got for the carpet, I have it positioned just right so that if I put one of my wheels straight forward, it just pops off the edge of the carpet and kind of locks the chair right in place with the armrests about fucking a half inch away from the desk. Just a little tip from your Uncle Scruff if that'll work out for you. Hey, Scruff Dog, have you ever taken a car to the racetrack? Yes, I used to drag race. Before we start, this is before Fast and the Furious ever came out, before, all that shindig. Someone asked about my electronics experience. Okay, I can get to that. Have I taken a car to the racetrack? Yes, I started drag racing in like 2001. I had an 87 Chevy Cavalier with a 2-liter engine in it. Decided I wanted to learn cars, and this was back when libraries were around. So I went read a bunch of books about cars, started messing with my car, and stock at Capitol Raceway around the DC way. The best I could get out of it, bone stock, was an 1888 and a quarter mile. I put a couple grand into it, built an engine by myself, had a custom transmission built, and when I was done, won a 100 shot of nitrous. It was running 1392 at 97.4 miles per hour. It was a fun little car, by the way. Zane the Magic Puppet Dragon has to go. Super dope woofler scruff. And there you have a good evening if you're still here. Thanks for stopping by. If you get bored later, I'll usually ramble on for hours, so we'll see. Pause, please. Oh, Chipmunk needs me to pause. Well, okay, I'll just finish the story and then, slowly. We're doing shots of nitrous, wherever I needed to, be it at the drag strip or the lights when I would whoop people's asses because they weren't expecting a 13-second Cavalier. That was primered black. It was rough. It was a rough car, but it ran. And it was overhead valve, so no VTEC or anything there, Paul T. Do you ever have a panel? A panel? A panel of what? I have paneling. I got 70s wall paneling behind me. Ah, there's Big Clive. What's up, buddy? Where is... Oh, there's the stream. Okay. Panels covered station wagon. I've never had a paneled covered station wagon. I've had that Cavalier, then after I sold that off, I got an 88 Z24 convertible. Had that for a while, then I got a 71 Chevy pickup truck. That's the one I blew up and put two pistons in the I-95 on. Over-rev the shit out of that. Then I got... then I got my 97 pickup truck 6.5 turbo diesel. Detroit diesel in it that I did everything but change the compression ratio and start again. Turn the turbo up, new ECM, tweaked the transmission, intercooler, different piping, different injectors, all kinds of bullshit. And then I got my 95 Suburban that I have now with 350. That I have a 355 in the garage. I might try to finish. And my 95 Honda CBR 600 F3 Super Sport motorcycle. That I don't know what I'm going to do with. But everything I've had, I've worked on, modified, built up, because I can't stand having something that's stock. Even my work van, it kills me that I can't fuck with it too much. So it felt good when I was able to put an auxiliary power system in it, that with an isolator that automatically charges itself, and then I put Christmas lights and shit up. I can't justify getting a chip and shit for it because I'm sure they'll notice that on the fuel mileage. But at least I can do something to it because I can't stand a stock vehicle. It's just so much improvement that can be made. L. Morrison has had a station wagon. I wouldn't mind a station wagon. I've known someone that had a Chevette wagon kind of thing there, Paul T. I see you guys right next to each other. One time at Capitol Raceway, I actually saw a Chevette with a 427 big block in it, and they did not reinforce the frame enough. And when that fucking thing launched, the back tire stayed still and the hood just went. The whole body just ripped itself in half. It was amazing. I love that kind of shit. I used to know someone with an Escort, an 86 Ford Escort. I think that thing had a 1.5 liter engine in it. It's baby blue, kind of a turd, but it got him around. So I guess that's the biggest thing here. First car. Franco Walker's first car in the 80s was a Ford Cortina MK1 1964 station wagon, royal blue. Had a quadraphonic 8-track player in it. Nice. I think the Cavalier, I think it had just a regular radio in it, but by the time I was done, it had a CD player here and then a tape player underneath it, and they were wired together. Just because I had a lot of media, back before I just, all my media was just right here. I mean, I still have my DVD collection. I still got a shitload of CDs. In case, all else fails, I have some hard data. Which model year was that? What was that? The Cavalier? That was 87, and then in 88. The race car was in 87. It was the one with the very boxy, the two boxy headlights on it. And then the 88 Z24 Cavalier was the first year that kind of looked like the older Mustangs. It kind of looked like an old Fox body. Omar Riverstone, his first ride was a 77 International Harvester Scout 2. Fuck yeah, all right. I'd run the shit out of that. Mouse has had trouble insuring his 1900cc diesel bike because the engine is twice the original capacity because they say the chassis would handle the extra power without ripping apart. Well, I'm sure you reinforced that at least a little bit. I would hope so. DC Allen can't remember their first car. The only reason I remember mine is I just haven't had a lot. Like I don't like getting rid of a vehicle unless I'm just freaking done with it. And I'm almost done with the Suburban, but I don't know. Like a few weeks ago, I went to go out to hit the store, get in, I hit the brakes. As soon as I hit it reverse, all of a sudden the brake pedal hit the floor and I could just smell the brake fluid when I hopped out. And I haven't even crawled under there to look at it yet. I just do all my shopping on the way home from work in the work van at this point. And if worst comes to worst, I'll send my boss a text message and be like, hey man, I'm taking the work van out. And at that point, they're fine. It's just if I get in an accident, I got to pay the deductible and shit. Which, I understand that. But, I don't know. I think I just got to wait for it to cool off. Let me finish my projects in here, which are actually moving along pretty good. Like I am done in here. Like the only thing I want to do is get like a shelf or something over here. Probably at the top of the little trim piece there. Maybe get a shelf there to put some stuff on. But I got all the thermal foam up finally. Here, I can show you that. So like the room don't get much better than this anymore. I mean, there's room for more thermal foam, of course. But all that is, and that goes all the way around 3 walls in here. I don't have any on the other side of the glass, but it definitely helped kill the room a little bit. Boop, 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 boop. And that is the view for the thermowoofle, by the way. Which we will, it's almost 6 o'clock. It's almost time to smoke a joint. Oop. Sorry, I mean, it's only been, 3 weeks since I got this microphone? So I keep twanging it. I really don't know where else to mount this thing. I think I'm going to have to add something. Well, first I got to say, I'm actually going to move this whole desk and entourage of crap forward about 6 inches. Like originally I was thinking of putting like a chair or something on the front of this, but I'm like, I will never fucking use it because when I want to chill, I just fucking reach down and then I fucking kick back and it's all good. So I don't need another fucking chair in here to chill. So I'm going to move this forward. That'll also make it easier for the cats to see me. So hopefully it'll use the hammock a little more often and then we can get like cat in hammock view. I'm going to have to start hiding treats in there as well. Oh, so yeah, I'll get to that. In my electronics experience that was brought up. Are those big Clive eyeglasses? No, these are just the same style glasses I've always worn. I prefer slightly rectangle. I used to wear the ovals, but I prefer slightly rectangle now with my job because a lot of times I got to look at weird angles, and having that extra little bit at the corners helps without having to get like square stuff. Um, finishing the room, shelf, car shit, that's electronics experience, and a 6 o'clock joint. Boop. I got a filter. I do. I was thinking of actually getting a whiteboard, Christian. It's funny you say that. I was very, very much considering getting a whiteboard. Well, it is 6 p.m. So cheers to everybody that's still hanging out. Thanks for stopping by. What is this? This is Yellow Roses by Cookies. Cheers to all y'all. Thanks for hanging. As far as electronics experience goes, luckily I had parents that like paid attention. My dad, my stepmom, my mom was, or I'm sorry, my mother. She was just there. Anyway, my dad and my stepmom, they paid attention. They saw that I was one of those kids that took everything apart, but then I put it back together. And then sometimes I was able to fix shit. And I was the 6-year-old, that could fix the time on the VCR. So when I was 9, see, how did it go? Oh, when I turned 9, they got me the 150-in-1 Radio Shack, like spring kit, like build your own electronics spring kit thing with, you had a component, and on either end there were 2 springs, and they came with wires, and it came with a book with the build projects on how to build all this shit. Different projects like blinking LEDs, little buzzers, shit like that. So they got me that when I turned 9. And then Christmas rolled around, and by the time Christmas rolled around, I had gone through all the 150 things, and then I was starting to build my own stuff. We were going to Radio Shack. I was buying little bits and pieces to add to it, including, I think by then I had a breadboard, like a little breadboard. So for that Christmas, they got me the 250-in-1 kit. And then I loved that, went through all the kits, yada, yada. And then my birthday was approaching. My next birthday was approaching. I had finished all that and had already started wiring the kits together and still going to Radio Shack and buying more shit. Having a good old time. So for that birthday, they got me the 400-in-1 kit, which is the biggest one they had, I think, ever. So then I just went from there. And then in the 9th grade in high school, I went to Eastern Technical High School, and I took electronics engineering, which for the most part was a review, because by the time I got up to the 400-in-1, you were doing like digital gating, shit like that. You were working with voltage regulators. You were getting into some pretty good stuff. It talked about AC rectification in a DC, but obviously they don't want some kid plugging the fucking thing in. If it were like the 60s or 70s, I'm sure it would be fine, and it probably would have came with a nuclear reactor to power it. But they bought me a technical toy, so I'd stop taking yours apart. Yeah, that's pretty much it there, Clive. But all that did was make me want to take more shit apart. So I don't know. But no, when I took electrical engineering, most of it was a review, but it was still fun. I did learn some stuff, and a lot of it I was helping out. And then in my senior year, I passed the entire curriculum for the senior year in the first quarter. And then I helped set up a computer lab, and then I just played around in the computer lab, and I messed around with the robotics lab for the rest of it, and helped out fellow classmates. So it was fun. They made us use 12-volt transformers in college for electrical for AC. That makes sense. Even 24-volt will give you a little bit of a woo if you're not expecting it, but I could see 12-volt. But I had fun. I did a lot of dumb shit. Um, that was also where, Christ, I got drunk. I got get drunk in my senior year. I'd carry around a 2-liter bottle of vodka and orange juice. And, ooh, I just hit a key. What the hell? Did anything go wrong? No. Okay. But I used to carry around a 2-liter of screwdrivers every day. And, Christ, the one time that Mr. Gernwald was just like, look, you're obviously drunk. Just don't use the drill press today. Like for drilling PCBs. I was like, all right, cool. I got you. James Randolph, there was a book in our middle school library that taught you how to cook a hot dog with AC. That's like prison rules right there. Paul T helped set up the computer lab as well. Didn't get any credit. No, I didn't get any credit for any of that shit either because I was in our school I was a grit, what we called a grit, which was like super long hair, beard, flannel wearing, heavy metal guy. You know, like in my senior year, instead of taking calculus 2, I said fuck it and I took guitar 1 because I'd already been playing guitar for a while. And it also gave me and my buddy Mike an excuse to carry around our guitars all day at school. I had a Ibanez RX 170, and he had a little Fender, like a Fender Standard Stratocaster. So we got to carry him around school every day, all day, like all senior year. So that was fun. Yes, Paul T. Girls like guitars. Yes, girls like guitars, especially in high school. Yes, they do. Blow up a capacitor. We blew up lots of capacitors in electronics. Like, we'd just get bored and we'd pop them. My teacher would just roll his eyes unless too many of them. Then he'd be like, all right, you guys got to calm down for today. And that was fun. Electronics was a pretty fun thing. Like, just the advantage I had in school was taking it in school was easier access to making PCBs, having to add little acid bath, you know, the copper plates, take a Sharpie, draw your shit, or use the stencils and then drop it in the acid bath. That was fun. And that helped me learn, actually helped me design better circuits as well, because then that helped me, that kind of forced me to be a little more efficient in my designs. So I didn't have so many jumpers. So like, and then just coming to find out how easy it is to get the stuff. Even back then, it wasn't too hard to get the chemicals, and then nowadays, I mean, you fucking get it wherever. But no, that was fun. I definitely enjoyed it, even though, you know, it's funny that there was one of the kids in there was like in the honor society and like super nerd dork guy. And he got all the awards and all the shit for that, and he even got awards in electronics, even though I had to tutor him. Even though like I was the guy that like the quizzes, I always aced all the exams, all that stuff. Since I was like the grit heavy metal guy, and I was in the smoker, and you know I smoked and stuff. Everyone knew I was a smoker. Like I was the one they like pushed in the corner to like, he's the weird smart guy, just put him over there. So that was kind of annoying, but it's whatever. Sometimes I look at it now, maybe it's better I didn't get any spotlight because I was just doing my thing. And your brain, my electronics teacher was a stoner. It was great fun how she was or is showing. My trigonometry teacher was a stoner. He would actually like come in. He knew which students were like smart enough to get out of school and then back in. So there'd be classes, we'd come in and he'd be like, and he'd like grab one of the guys and he'd like say something and you'd just see him leaving. And then like 20 minutes later, they come back with like, you know, something from 7-Eleven or McDonald's or whatever. That was funny. Blinkmatic Gaming, what's up? The school I went to had us making stuff with tubes. Nice. And we would charge the capacitors and leave them sitting around. Oh, yeah, yeah. We had condensers. We tossed at people. Oh, yeah. Um, actually, one of my final, I think it was, is it senior year? I forget if it was junior or senior year. My whole final thesis was all about tubes and tube design and stuff. It's a shame I've forgotten a lot of it because I'd never got to practically use it. Like I never really got my hands on tubes outside of school until like literally a year ago. I got a shitload of stuff in the garage from one of my coworkers. When did I start using my electrical skills for evil and profit? Before the first arrest or after? Before the only arrest. School I went to had us make tubes chart. Yeah, yeah, yeah. One thing that was nice was I was one of the few kids with the stereo system that had a equivalent 1 farad capacitor in like 1995. It was about as big. It was a whole shitload of smaller capacitors wired together. Then I had that for the subwoofers, for the amps for the subwoofers, and it was about as big as a car battery. And I got it for free from the electronics lab because I saw these big ass capacitors, and I asked the teacher, I'm like, what are those for? He went, we have absolutely no use for them. I went, can I buy them? Like, how does that work with a school? And he went, you just tell me that you want them, and I say you can have them because I have absolutely no use for them, and I could use the shelf space. I went, yes, sir. So I had a 1 farad capacitor, and I gave my buddy, it was a total of about 1.5. I gave my buddy a half farad for his system that he was working on. I went for clarity and bass at the same time. I ran Blaupunk subwoofers, Kenwood amps, some JVC stuff, Polk Audio. I ran a lot of different companies in there, whereas my buddy Mike, he went for just speaker count. I think he ended at 24 speakers altogether because he would just add little speakers anywhere he could stuff them and put like a 40-watt amplifier, bam, there's for 2 speakers, another 20-watt amplifier, bam, for 2 speakers here. It was funny, as he was building it, it sounded horrible, but it slowly started to sound better as he just added more and more speakers. I guess just the variety of sound and frequency responses just filled with it was a 79 Monte Carlo. That was funny. Like, there were just little amplifiers all over the place. Moving off of that, the other thing before I boinked the microphone, for computer nerds out there, I spent the day overclocking my Asus. I have an Asus RTX 3070 OC 8 gig. So it comes from the factory with a quote overclock on it. It came quote out of the box at 1770 megahertz. It's now running a max of 2070 megahertz, and the RAM was at 7000, and the RAM is now at 8200 megahertz. And all of that was stock at 1.2 volts. I was able to undervolt it down to 950 millivolts, drop the temperatures down, and still get an average of an 11% performance gain in Kerbal Space Program 2. I started reading about it, and apparently the 3070s just fucking love to be overclocked. So I went with some basic settings and just cranked it up. And like, I have all the shit actually open right now on this screen over here, just kind of keeping an eye on things, and it does not care. I mean, not that it's working real hard right now, but I was running KSP for about a half hour, and it does help. Like, on one of the screens, I had this little dinky plane I would launch, and I would get this KSP2 Slacker X. It's pretty good. The new patch came out. It fixed some bugs, introduced, new bugs, whatever. It's pretty good, but without the science in it and without the advanced stuff, with strictly just being, point A to point B, you kind of got to get creative to keep going. But nah, it's pretty good so far. I mean, like literally, it'll probably be a year or two before it gets like really, 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 really good. But I am enjoying playing it. But I have never played Kerbal Space Program 1, so I can't compare. But on the one launch, I was getting an average of like 57 frames per second. And then when I turn on the overclock, it goes up to 65, 66 frames per second. And that was really consistent. I kept going back and forth, and it was really consistent. Yeah, KSP1 I see is very technical, especially with the mods available. And the mods for KSP2 are already rolling in. And it's getting to the point I'm considering installing one particular mod, Lazy Orbit, just because it's nice to be able to test something before you launch it. Because with Lazy Orbit, you can basically just type in a thing, and you can just send your craft somewhere. Send it to orbit, or if you got a rough idea, like a coordinate on land, you can just send it there. Or like if you have a Kerbal there, you can send it to the Kerbal kind of thing. Just so like if I want to send like a lander to Elu, which is the Neptune / Pluto equivalent, I don't have to fly a ship for an hour and build this monstrous thing to get there and find out it fucked up. Like if I want to do a long mission, I wouldn't mind having a cave sometimes, depending on the situation, having that ability. What's up, Rob? But we'll see. I may wait for the next patch or two. But I haven't really looked into the mods of KSP2 yet. The last game I did a lot of mods on was Fallout 4, and in Fallout 4 I was running 167 mods and add-ons and all that shit, which to me made it a much funner game. Really the biggest, as far as Fallout 4 goes while we're here, the biggest thing that I think helped is putting on the realism, like the damage realism for bullets and shit, and making it equal. Like one of the biggest things that does kind of annoy me with video games, especially first person shootery stuff, is like the damage gun for gun is never quite balanced right. Like it seems like some of the games like Call of Duty I think is a little better for it, but when Fallout 4 is really unbalanced, like you could have an enemy a higher level than you just wailing away on you, and if you have enough armor, you just stand there and you're fine. Whereas you can take a pop shot at them, hit them in the head, and they're dead in one shot. I used to run the balance mods that made that all equal, so I was in just as much danger as they were. And one of the things was a little more advanced AI. One of the mods. Christian wants space news. I can get the space news. I got a little bit. But Fallout 4 was a fun game. Death Claws. Try to kill the Death Claws too early and oh, good lord, Death Claws are fun. Yeah, they're best to just, even once you get later in the game and they're easy, I tend to just run away and just get far away and then just get out some big ass sniper rifle and just pop at them a little bit. Hey Scruff, if you don't drink, why the banner on your screen? Right, now I get it. Before I stopped drinking, I drank Jack Daniels like I was a fucking fish in water. Like all day, every day, constantly. Like I wasn't an alcoholic because I never went to class. I was just a fucking drunk. Actually, I have some root beer. I'm thirsty. But now I have a shitload of Jack Daniels collectible stuff all over the place. And I still have some Jack Daniels. Like I have a bottle of 1903 Jack Daniels that I'm not going to give away. Like one of my blankets I sleep with is a Jack Daniels blanket, like a more of a regular blanket than a stitchy blanket thing. So I have a shitload of Jack stuff all over the place. Some of it I've given away. Some of it I've kept. I have a Jack Daniels lighter collection somewhere. Stuff like that. I mean, good question. Sleeping with Jack. Not quite. I mean, Uh, space news there, Christian. Let's see. SpaceX just hit a record number of launches for the year. They just passed 60 or 61, something like that. Sorry, I don't have the exact number. When I saw it, I was pretty stoned. Um, so they're doing just fine. One frustrating thing with SpaceX is they've decided not to broadcast their launches on YouTube anymore. Now you got to catch it on Twitter, X, whatever the fuck you want to call it. And that's kind of annoying because I like to watch the fucking launches on the big ass TV in the other room. And I can't get Twitter on the TV unless I do some weird shit with the phone or I got to run cables off of the. Yeah, it's annoying. Like everyone has YouTube. Like, and when you think about it, who like really watches the launches? It's a bunch of fucking space nerds. Like, it's not like there's millions of people watching this fucking launch. It's like, tens of thousands, usually at most. So all you're doing is fucking with the space nerds. Like, what the fuck is the point of that? Like, they're the few people that actually are kind of on your side because we know personally you're fucking like, sorry for the pop, but like you're personally, your head is like, what the fuck? But like on the intellectual side, you know who to put together to make shit happen. You know enough to help and mediate shit to happen to get us the fuck out of here. Because let's face it, how many trillions and trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars have we put into saving the planet, lining people's pockets? And guess what? It still sucks here. Like, seriously, we got to get the fuck out of here. And, like, the sooner the better. Like, I realize we're just going to go to Mars and just fuck it all up, but, at least we can maybe fuck it up a little bit less at first. Like, I don't know, but, like, seriously, as a race, we need to get the fuck off the Earth because, yeah, it's kind of turning into a shithole. So, yeah. It looks like the next launch, the next Starship test launch got delayed. I haven't watched any videos yet. I wanted to make sure I caught up on it after I had all the news. The last What About It I watched was a couple days old, so I'm not sure when that's going to be going. He said the rockets would be small enough so you could still win in a fight under what? He said the robots would be small enough so you could still win in a fight like under 5 feet. What robots are? Okay. Kevin's. Oh, okay. Anyway, so it looks like Starship's been delayed. I guess we'll see what that happens. I got to catch up with that. And the Indian, the lander that India sent, the Chandrayaan 3. I think that's how it's pronounced. It is asleep. The rover, the little tiny rover on it's asleep. I don't know if the lander itself is asleep or if that had heaters on it, but I think they're both asleep. I think the lander is going to turn back on in a couple weeks, but the rover is just like, they were like, it wasn't designed to come back. If it comes back when the sun comes back, cool. If it doesn't, that's cool too. They're kind of like, it did what it did. It found some stuff, some new stuff, new discoveries. Clive says we should send all the lawyers, bankers, and politicians to Mars first, then set up the habitable climate a year later. That would be a good idea. I'm sure, yeah, that would be a fine place to send them. Let's see. Yeah, I can think of a couple others, but yeah, for the most part, that'll cover most of it. 420. Oh, yeah, I got to finish this joint. It's 6:23. But now the rover on it was cool. I hope it comes back. I hope it turns into another Perseverance Ingenuity thing. Yeah, like what actually, like, see right where my hand is? Yeah, watch, see. Okay, see. There it is. There's the Lego version of it. The Ingenuity and Perseverance. I'm actually, yeah, I guess while some people are still here, the next time I do this, it's going to be Legos After Live or something like that. We're going to start messing with the Lego thing. So in 2 weeks, the live After Clive will be a combination of me talking and putting the Legos together. So we'll start on the Lego adventures then. But anyway, hopefully the little rover dude from India will turn into like an ingenuity perseverance thing where they were thinking, it'll go for 5 weeks, like 5 missions in 5 weeks, and it's been almost 2 years, and it just finished its 56th flight, and it's still kicking ass. Which I'm sure it helps that it's got them big ass props on it to help keep some of the Mars dust off of it. What is my favorite fresh fish? When you say fish, you got to watch. I'm from Maryland. So does seafood count or fish? Because my favorite seafood would be soft shell crab. Get this crab right after, blue crab right after it's molted, fry it right down there. It's all floppy and shit. Bread it, fry it up, put it on some bread, and like you have a sandwich with legs. It's fucking great, and you just eat that. Blue crabs, just any form of blue crab is my favorite seafood. As far as fish goes, I'm not real particular with fish. I don't know that I really have a favorite. I just kind of eat any of it. If I gotta make some, I usually go for salmon, like nothing special. But crabs, shrimp, I guess that's what I primarily eat as far as seafood goes. But yeah, I haven't really had fish in a while. I mean, I do tuna fish every once in a while. I got some tuna helper in there. It's like that hamburger helper, but with tuna. I got some of that in there. I got to get around to making. I ordered pizza tonight. I couldn't figure out what I wanted to eat. It's one of the things where you stare at the fridge for 20 minutes and you're like, yeah, I have not a fucking clue. And then I went, you know what? But I could eat some fucking pizza. So ordered some pizza and some hot wings and my root beer. Where'd that go? There it is. So that was what I had. Have I fished lately? I have not fished lately either, but I'm probably going to get my shit once I get all this done. The new bedroom is almost done. The office is basically done. This winter I'm going to get all my old fishing gear together, see what's still good, what's not, get some line rewrapped, respool my 2 fishing rods, assuming they're still good. Probably have to rebuild the reel. I'm sorry, the reels. They both have Shimano. Sorry. I got one is what is it? They're both Shimano reels. One's a Shakespeare something or something, and I think the other one's a Shimano rod with a Shimano reel on it. Is it Shimano? Is that right? Clank drink. Yeah. Actually, let me grab my tea. I managed to pull that around and not fucking wang it off the microphone. Will I continue paneling? If you mean the acoustic panels, no. I'll end up having something there, like probably a whiteboard. But I just wanted to get the top quiet to mostly help deaden the sound that comes in over the wall. Where the ceiling fan goes, like cuts, I left a hole in the wall for the ceiling fan, so it gets this in the hallway at the same time. So those help kind of kill some of the sounds out there. And if you don't know what's out there, I can turn on that microphone for you. That's the cat dishes, the cat waterfall thingy. It's also known apparently as the gotta pee microphone. And if the cats start meowing a lot, I can turn that up and you can really hear them. But no, I'm pretty good with it now. Like the room's pretty dead, and there's still a couple things I'll get in here, I'm sure. But for now, I think we're pretty good. And I did notice a difference. besides the sound in here, of course, everything is fucking, well, was sticky as hell because I had carpet tape, like two-sided carpet tape on there, and it stuck to the wall great, but not to the back of the phone so great. So I ended up getting the Loctite spray adhesive, like spray super adhesive, and it sticks wonderfully, but it also aerates all that fucking glue everywhere. So I still have some on the office floor liner thing. So if I wear my little sandal fucking shoe things in here, they go, they kind of stick to it. And I've gone at it with spray nine, rubbing alcohol, and bleach, and it is still sticky. So I'll say this, like 3M super adhesive, like it does not fuck around. Like I've tried like dragging dusty socks on it or like a duster thing, a broom on it, just to see if I could just get the dust to stick to it to kill the stickiness. And like apparently it doesn't fucking stick to dust very well or some bullshit because it doesn't fucking help. So just one of those fucking things. Yeah, I'm thinking I may have to go get some actual Goo Gone specific adhesive remover, or just go on Loctite's site if I get a chance and see if they have any recommendations. But I do have some Goo Gone downstairs I can get, so that's not that big a deal. I just got to get off my ass and take care of it. But right now that the office and the office is basically done, the bedroom is really close to done. I put the last bit of carpet down yesterday. The only thing left I really have to do in there is when I get around to it, I'm going to put the surround sound system in there from downstairs. Vertiwoofle time. Yes, it is. Herbert Trouser Fancy. Good timing on finishing that joint. All right. Let us go to the Vertiwoofle. All right. Woofle cam. I don't remember turning the fan back on. Did I turn the fan back on? Maybe it was on medium. I don't know. Okay, well, either way, it's off now. There we go. All right. Vertiwoofle time. Let's see. Where are we at? Where are we at? Woo-hoo. There we are. All right. Hello, lighter. Oof. That one I got a little bit. I get a little bit of over bubbly on, but you know that happens. Number 2. Oof. All right. Oh. And now the 30 Thermowoofle. Let's see. Camera. Yeah, we do normally do the double thing, you know? Let me back it up. Oop. Let me point. I can't really move that up. That was a little better. Where's that towel? I got a little more run over on that one because I tipped it a little bit. Thermowoofle. Poof, poof. All right. Oh yeah, if you haven't seen it yet, here's the backstage cam. Ba-dum, ba-dum. All right. Mission Control, yes. I'm actually thinking of getting a plaque on the outside and calling it Mission Control. And that's the Woofle cam. All right, let's flip that back. Yeah, I clean them. Like there's plenty of soap to clean them. All right, let's grab. Make sure. All right, nothing's on fire. That's good. No, I'm still on thermal. Oh no, I switched it. Okay, hold on. And let's see, what's it different? What's cut? Is that just a slam transition? Bam. Okay. Yeah, that one sucks. Swipe. I'll do swipe next. Swipe. It's all porn monitored. Yeah, that way I can watch all the porn. That's actually 2 computers. One on the top is the big computer. The 2 screens on the bottom is a little Intel Nook for like monitoring and controlling the stream and such. Which way am I swiping? I have no idea. I don't know what does what because I've never used any swipey apps. So I couldn't tell you. I think it varies per app, I'm guessing. Or is it all swipe this and whatever? I have no idea. Never used one of those. Are you a 2.0/2.1 stereo enthusiast? I am asks Sam online. I am a 5.1 to 5.7 stereo enthusiast. The system here, which you can see there and there, that's it, there. Those are the rear channels. I have a Logitech Z906 500 watts 5.1 system on the computer, and then I have a Yamaha system on my TV in the living room. That's a total of 620 watts. I've always been a 5.1 guru. Like I just like to have the surround sound. That's just kind of what I do. What am I vaping? This is Northern Lights by Strain, Strane. And this is White Runts by MPX. There, Matty England. DC Allen may have left. Quang, yeah. When I set them down, they're literally like this far from where the clamp on the microphone is. Do I prefer oils? I was always fond of straight flower. Asks Slacker X. I usually smoke 2 joints a day, maybe 3 a day on the weekend. But I vape. Like I get up in the morning, go to work. I don't do anything. Like I work on heavy machinery, heavy equipment. I'm not trying to go splat. And plus, a lot of the shit I do is really technical. I need my brain at full speed, fucking freight train. So I don't do anything if I got to work. But as soon as I get home, I usually get right on the vape, have a couple vapes, chill a little bit, take a shower, and then I'll smoke a joint, get something to eat, or get something to eat, smoke a joint. Smoke a joint before bed, like a half hour before bed or whatever. But I'll vape all day, all through the day. Different strains depending on what I'm doing. Sam Online is vaping 2 colors strawberry lemonade. I have 2 colors sweet melon on. No, that's on my other battery that's charging. There's the 2 colors fucking battery right there. Making cookies again. No, I may tonight maybe or tomorrow. I might let's put that over there. Make some bread, like rustic style, thick ass crust, like hearty ass bread. I just picked up some yeast packets and like stuff because I like really like homemade hearty ass bread. So I'm going to try that. It might be tonight. Maybe tonight. We'll see how the storms go. Not that the storms should matter too much because that would be, well, nah. I'd be cooking it in the gas oven, but if the power goes out, the safety valve will kick on. But I mean, I got a generator and I have a million fucking inverters, but I might do some bread tonight. But I do have stuff to make cookies and chocolate chip muffins as well. I just picked up like fucking 5 bags of dark chocolate chips because it seems like whenever I run out, I go to get more. Everybody's always out of them. So now I'm just going to keep a lot of them on hand. I almost made a cookbook, Christian. Like, I used to have enough recipes I probably could have. At least a small one, but I've lost half of them, and half of them I've forgotten. Why do a gas oven? I've always liked gas ovens better than electric or conventional ovens for the most part for baking. As far as like food shit and goes and whatever, I like my Ninja Foodie 11-in-1, basically table or countertop oven. It's a convection oven, air fryer, roaster, toaster, fucking thermometer attachment. You can cook like a 10-pound turkey in it. Like, that's good for like food prep. But for baking, I've always preferred the evenness of a gas oven. To me, it just has always been better. Same with cooking on a range top. Like, I prefer gas over electric or induction just because that's how I learned to cook, because I'm fucking 46 and I'm old. And I've been lucky enough that most of the places I've lived have had gas, so I've always cooked on with gas stuff. The one time I lived in an apartment that had electric appliances, I really just didn't like it. I just couldn't, like, I had to adjust my recipes and I had to adjust the way I cook. So even when I bought this house, I was like, I'm not going anywhere unless it has this, a gas supply. Like, it has to have gas oven and gas range, or gas stove. It's plumbed for gas dryer, but I have an electric dryer. That's fine. My water heater is gas, which seems to be working fine for the most part. I had an issue with it last year where it was leaking its ass off when I was trying to fix something on it. But that got sorted out. But Maddie England, what about executions? Electric. I prefer electric executions, preferably like just enough to take care of the job. When it's just got to last a little bit too long. Because if it gets to the point where you got to sit in that chair, it probably should take just a little bit too long for it to work. Or just turn it up slow. Or like leave it at 120 and then like go take a shit. And then like come back, see how they're doing. Okay, and then like, actually hit it, something like that. Someone that lives across the alley, that would be good to do that because he's a fucking convicted kid toucher. He deserves to sit in that chair for, a long time, just going. Anyway. Chipmunk prefers humane executions. We don't have to be as evil as them. Sometimes I agree with that, but if you're touching kids, I don't agree with that. You should suffer greatly. Anyway. Great topic. Jonathan Hughes, CEO is equal to 4 pi, closing Q radius. To put things in perspective, the Earth has a radius of 6,400 kilometers and only has 700 microfarads of capacitance. Like the Earth itself. That's not much. Poll for executions. I think we covered that. Jonathan Hughes, have you been smoking more than Scruff? I don't know. I haven't smoked a lot today. I've just been kind of busy finishing stuff up. Oh, drone news. So we discussed how come September 16th, I wasn't going to be able to fly my drone because of the new regulation requiring remote ID. And since my drone doesn't currently support remote ID natively, I'd have to spend. Apparently, there's one for $140 that is cheap as shit and doesn't work very well. But at that point, I might as well have just purchased a drone that supports remote ID, but that would just annoy the shit out of me. Well, some people finally got around to doing the math, and there was a rough estimate that they would, before September 16th, they would have to have shipped just over 300,000 units to the United States, either from China, from Japan, or within the United States. They would have to have shipped over 300,000 units to keep everyone legal who wanted to be legal during this time. And they looked and they checked with manufacturers, and in the past month, they had said that they were averaging roughly 3,000 units a month into the United States, as opposed to 300,000 that they would need to make everyone legal. Luckily, the FAA went, oh, yeah, didn't think about supply chain issues, so they have postponed that for now. Scruff Dog, did you show off your new flashy things yet? Sort of. Like, I pointed them out, like they're the mouse. Damn it. The mouse pewter and the star pewter and the mouse one here. Like, that one's mine. The skull's mine. The candles are mine. But those were the ones I bought from Mousy Wousy. Yeah. Maths. Yeah, so they figured that out, and luckily, the FAA went, oh, whoops. So I don't know that they've made the announcement yet, but they said they will be delaying it. They'll let us know before the 16th how long, or they'll give us an update before September 16th. So I should be able to fly likely until DJI updates the firmware on Mavis. So, next weekend, I will be doing a drone stream, weather permitting. Tomorrow, I'm doing another KSP stream. I'm actually the link will go live, right after this stream. It's actually sitting here. All I gotta do is click next, and it'll pop the link up. So whenever I get done here, the link for tomorrow's Kerbal Space Program 2 link will come up. And then we can really beat the shit out of this new overclock and see what happens. Mr. Egg Cakes. Snake name. Snake name is Aura. Whoa, fuck, spelled that wrong. Jesus Christ. Yeah, can I delete? I should be able to delete that, right? There we go. Yeah, Orihime. And she's cool. Like I said, she's a senior snake. When she was younger, I had her in a 55-gallon tank with about a third of it, about a third of the length and a third of the height siliconed off for water. Because I noticed when she was in her little 20-gallon tank, she was in the water dish a lot. Like, she would just soak in the water dish. So I gave her this, almost probably 10-gallon little mini tank inside her 55-gallon tank. And she would actually go in there and swim around and hang out and, like, swim in circles and, like, tie herself almost in knots and shit. And she still gets into her water bowl every once in a while, but she stopped swimming. After a while, like, she wouldn't really even drink from it. She would only drink from her water bowl and occasionally get in her water bowl. So I guess she just kind of got over the swimming part. But yeah, she used to swing a lot. She'll be 17 in October. Yeah, next month she'll be 17. Most corn snakes in the house, can live, they say, 15 to 20 years. Although most probably don't make it that much because people just don't know what to do with them. A lot of snakes don't make it because they're overfed. people don't understand that as snakes get older, you can't keep feeding them like they're a year-old snake growing, growing, growing. Once they get to be a senior snake, you have to slow down the feeding because their digestive systems just can't keep up with like constantly getting slammed with food. um, but I guess like with anybody, as you get older, everything starts to slow down a little bit. So luckily, I've understand how that works, and I'm guessing that's why she's so old. Especially because when she was younger, I kind of power fed her a little bit, which is like you feed her like as soon as they take a dump, you just feed them right then and there and just keep them going to try and grow them quicker. But it also kind of puts a strain on them. And I didn't quite know what I knew, back then. But even with doing power feeding her for like the first year, she's still pretty healthy. So she's cool. She's doing all right. If she ever comes out during a stream, like if we see her come out, like I can like get her out, but I don't want to like go in after her. If she were younger, I wouldn't care, but she's older, so I don't want to like, get off my lawn kind of thing. I don't want to disturb her too much since she's grandma snake. She might actually be a grandma. She had quite a lot of daughters when she had all those eggs, and I gave every one of them away except for one, and that one passed away a couple years ago. Just didn't quite make it, but she's still kicking it. Her boyfriend passed away a couple years ago. He was 14 when he died. He was almost 8 feet long, which is huge for a corn snake, but I power fed him like for almost 2 years. So the fact that he made it to 14 was pretty good because, again, I didn't really know as much as I did back then. But no, corn snakes are fun. They're not, like I've gotten bit by corn snakes, and it's just like, oh, look at the little guy trying to go nom, 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 nom. Yeah, I've heard it seems like there's not a whole lot of snakes in the UK, but apparently you got like some sort of pit viper over there. Something like that. Like you don't have a lot, but the ones you do are real assholes or something. Adders. Okay. Yeah, closest we have around here, we have copperheads. And if you go out west a little bit, we have more copperheads and then like diamondback rattlesnakes. Never seen a rattlesnake in the wild. I've actually never seen a copperhead in the wild. I've seen water snakes, which are venomous as well. Remember, snakes aren't poisonous, they're venomous. You ingest poison, venom is injected. But I've seen venomous water snakes, like water moccasins. Seen a couple of those, but I've never actually seen a copperhead or a rattlesnake in person, like in the wild. Like you can go to, like, I've seen them in like tanks and shit, but that doesn't quite count. Black adders. Snakes that kind of trip me out the most are black mambas because they are fast and slick and like they just do not seem like they fuck around. That would probably be one of the few snakes I'd be a little more leery of than most others. I'll tell you what. Well, I'll tell you what. Yeah, black mambas are very lethal from what I understand. They're a chipmunk. Double notification. That means Discord. Yep. Brown snake is bad. We have little tiny northern brown snakes. They're like little, they're about a couple, maybe 16 inches long, fully grown. They're harmless little guys. I've found a couple of them in the backyard before. They're usually victims of birds. The couple I found were getting chased by birds. I shoot the birds away and I put the snakes in bushes. I mean, I don't know if they stayed, but it's like, here, this is your best chance, bud. But those are cool with that. And we have a lot of ringneck snakes. usually dark gray, and they'll have either pink or orange little stripes, look like little collars. They get about a foot, foot and a half long. I've bred them when I was a kid. That was the first snakes I ever bred was um, ringneck snakes. I had two. I didn't know, difference between male and females when I was like 12. No internet, your book stuff. But put two of them in a tank, and one day it looked like they were fighting each other. I went, well, I don't know what to do. I guess I'll just let them go. But then they were fine with each other again. And then next thing you know, there was 6 eggs, and all 6 of them hatched. And then we had baby snakes. I mean, they weren't more than 2.5 inches long, like I don't know, maybe 3/16 of an inch. So what, like 100 millimeters or something by 4 or 5 millimeter? Like they were tiny little babies. And of course, the parents ate 2 of them because that's apparently what they do. Another one tried to eat another one, and they both died because they were the same size. And then I had to go work out of town for a week, and my parents were going to look after them, and my parents were going to look after the 2 adults and the last 2 babies, and they accidentally left the lid open, and we never saw them again. So as far as I know, there may be snakes living at my parents' house still. Who knows? Maybe that's why they've never had mice. There may be a shitload of ringnecks just chilling in the walls, which, I mean, I'd be fine with that. I don't mind snakes at all, obviously. Birds are government drones. Yes, they are. Slow worms, I think, are more lizard. Why is that familiar? Slow worms. Having seen how annoying baby humans are, it's surprising parents don't eat their babies in our species. I'm telling you, like, from what I understand, it's pretty tempting sometimes. Mr. A Cake says that no one knows what birds are. I think birds, they could be little robots. They could be. But absolutely, cats are our alien overlords. They're just here to observe us. But just cats are definitely aliens. And I have said that around them and gotten weird looks. So I think they know that I'm onto them. But that's why there's cats all throughout mythology. Like they are absolutely aliens, and they're just here to observe us. I mean, we clean their poop. Like half of us don't even know how to clean our own poop, but we all know how to clean a cat's poop. So I mean, that kind of tells you something right there. Ass in the face, yes, and that's how we know. They're like, look at my look at my look look at the galaxy in my ass. Sniff it. Elton John eats babies for sure. That may be how he keeps his powers, Matty England. That is an absolute possibility. James Randolph says that birds are not robots. He's seen too many smushed on the road. See, the problem with that is whoever is controlling the bird robots will know that they need to put fake ones out there as well. Ones that we see as real, but they know are the fake ones or the decoys. That's all that is. They're all from Uranus, says her trouser fancy. That's a possibility. Um, who knows what could be coming from Uranus at this point? Could be anything. Gavin Bruce says, I thought it was Ozzy that ate babies. No, it's vegans that eat babies. Ozzy eats bats. Vegans eat babies. I was a vegan for 4 years, so I can, yes, we ate babies. Egyptian cat god to recently deceased house cat. Do they still treat us like gods? Yes, I've seen that meme. They clean my poop. Good child, good. Gas music from Mars. Why does that sound familiar as well? All the birds are assembled in the basement of the Greenbrier. Could be. I mean, if they got a good enough battery and a solar system hidden under the feathers, they can fly across the oceans, get where they need to get to. MK says that babies are not vegan. Well, I mean, vegans need to get their strength from something because they ain't getting it from the fucking food they're eating. Let me tell you something about that. God. Jonathan Hughes says, I'm saying being vegan doesn't sound bad eating a beer and french fries. Yeah, I ate a lot of fucking french fries when I was vegan. What flashy badge did I get? I got a lot of them. This is the only one that has a battery in it, but I got a heart, some shamrocks, bunch of different colors of the standard mini pewters, some stars, some of the bigger stars, like the one that's going right there. I got that one mini pewter, a whole bunch of them. I just haven't put batteries in the rest of them yet because as I need them, I will batteryize them. And it is 7 p.m. Jack Attack. Toot toot. Yes, it is. I guess we'll go with a double fist on this one. Or I guess I'll go one after the other because otherwise it doesn't pull quite right. So, you know what? Oh, cheers to those on the International Space Station, and I believe that what is the Chinese? I forget what the Chinese space station is called, but I believe there's astronauts on them as well. So we'll do cheers to the humans that are currently in space and just got back. Crew 6 just got back. So cheers to human. Oh, hold on. Cheers to human. Humans in space. No, I'll get used to this thing. So, cheers. Toot toot.
Yay! Pigs in space.
I love the Muppets. I have their Muppet Show DVD collection, and I think just about every Muppet movie that ever came out. But oddly, I don't think I have actually any Muppet plushies. I got some Odies. I have a Brontosaurus, some elephants. I have the wizard from fucking Clash of Clans. Like, no shit. Like, he's just over a foot tall. I got a Mr. Meeseeks. I got a Rick Sanchez over there. Right there, that's a little 3D printed face hugger. The big face hugger that was on me the other day is up over there on top of stuff, hanging out. He's right. Sorry, he likes to give out hugs. There's Freddy the face hugger, just doing his thing. And this is what's known as print in place. A multi-piece print that you print all at once, and then you kind of just crack the joints. And then you have something like, hold it in there. Oop, there we go. And that was all printed at once on one platter. And it's scalable for the most part it's scalable and you can still crack the joints loose. I have an Ender 3 Pro, like the first version or whatever, with a SKR Mini. It's a 2.0 motherboard, and it's a custom fucking fan channel thing printed for it. What was it, a Mustang or a Bullseye or something like that? The glass plate, I got a whole bunch of shit done to it. Runs Octopi, does a pretty good job printing. I got to retune Culta or Cura, Ultima Culta, fucking hell, Cura. I have to retune Cura because I lost all my files. Had an issue with a thing and whatever. So I got to retune that, but I've been, luckily it's a lot quicker to retune a printer when you've already done it like 100,000 fucking times, just dicking around. Alright. Taking a fucking breath. In spite of the ratchet outside, I'm going to try to sleep. Need to be up by tomorrow, says Craig Matthews. Well, if you're still here, you have a groovy sleep, a groovy evening, and a lovely Sunday. I believe, are you in the UK? I forget. But either way, be groovy. Oh, speaking of being vegan and all that. Here we go. Here's a poll. Y'all want a poll here? We'll go ahead and we'll end it at probably at 7:30 on a double woofle again. But let's do a poll here. Start a poll. When you're at a buffet, if you just because it's called different things in different places, one of them where you go out to eat and there's just like you get in line and you just scoop whatever you want off the like food thing. You just go down the line and get what you want. When you're at the buffet, do you bother getting sides? Meat only for me. Thanks. That's me. Because I don't see the point of getting sides. I just see the sides like rice and salad and like whatever. I see that as being mostly there just to fill you up so that you don't get the expensive shit. The only exception to that would be something that adds flavor, like onions. If you're getting meat, you want to add onions because that tastes flavorful. Veg only. And buffets, ew. Gross. Alright, there we go. There we go. Yeah, okay. So we'll do that. Like, when I go to a buffet, I just really don't see the point of getting the sides. Like, only if it's there as a specific flavor enhancement. Like, if I'm getting something that has a lot of sauce in it and I know the sauce is really good, I'll get a little bit of rice for it. But I don't want a lot of rice because I'm not there to eat the rice. I want to eat the meat. I want to eat, like, the shrimp. Like, when I was... I was working out in Indiana, in Vincennes, Indiana. Yeah, Vincennes, Indiana. It's like a college town. We were actually working in one of the schools, building a theater. They had one of them all-you-can-eat deals where it was how did it work? It was like, I guess like your typical grill. Like you went to a buffet style thing, you got a bunch of stuff, and then you went to the grill master and they cooked your shit. Oh, they called me Mr. Meatball because I just got meat. All I got was meat, and then onions. But no, I just can't do the sides. Golden Corral, Rifleman says. Yeah, I do the same thing at Golden Corral. There's one around here that I'm pretty sure is back. I think they're back open, but I haven't actually been to a buffet in quite some time either. There's one up the road that I believe is open. Paul T says people at buffets waddle. Some of them do. I was actually out in Indianapolis working and went into one of the Chinese food buffet places. Really, really, really good food. And there is this there is a man of much gravity, we'll say. a man of very much gravity. Actually wore this shirt, and in only 2 lines of bold text, it said, "Did someone say buffet?" And I was like, "Ooh, all right, there we go." Like he every time we went there, like we went there for lunch at work quite a lot, and he was always there. We went there to dinner a couple times, and he was usually there. Cool guy, seemed good. Like we went enough that we would talk to people. If we saw they were regulars too, just have someone to talk to. But yeah, he was pretty cool. Chipmunk's cousin got kicked out of an all-you-can-eat buffet for eating too much. I feel like they got close to kicking us out a couple times when we went for dinner, because they also served alcohol at night. And back when I drank, as soon as I started drinking, I'm one of them weirdos that I get hungry when I start drinking. So I'll just keep eating. It's just like when I'm getting high, I just get hungrier the more like affected I get. So I would just keep eating, keep eating, and they'd just kind of be like looking at me as the plates just started stacking, and they take a bunch of them, they just keep fucking stacking. And then you got like 4 or 5 of us. Yeah, you got 4 or 5 riggers, sitting around just eating everything in the house. They had some really good kimchi at that one Chinese food buffet too. That's where I really got turned on the kimchi, which is like sour, cabbagey, spicy stuff. Fucking great. Paul T says eat 1 meal per day. I tried that. It just didn't work for me. I get too hungry. During the day, I'm a little weird, especially when at work, because I get into kind of work mood. I get pretty much every morning, I get a steak, egg, cheese, bagel meal from McDonald's with medium coffee, 1 creamer. Like to the point, as soon as I say it, they just go, "Oh, come on, honey, we got you." So I just go around and they got the order for me and everything. Like I'm there all the time. But I'll take that meal. I start eating it at like 6 in the morning, and I don't finish it till like 12. I'll take like on the way into work, I'll eat half the hash brown. I'll get to work, I'll finish the hash brown. Go inside. About an hour later, I'll take a bite or 2 of the sandwich, and then the next hour, I'll take a bite or 2, and then I just do that all day until it's gone. Occasionally, I'll go up to the cafeteria and get like a tuna fish sandwich, which it's okay. It's fine there because there's hundreds and hundreds of people that eat out of that cafeteria. So all the food is completely wiped out every day, like almost twice a day, once for breakfast and once for lunch. And the tuna fish is really fucking good. And they put a lot of it on there. So I will occasionally get a tuna fish sandwich up there, which is great. I love a good tuna sandwich every once in a while, especially because they have mustard packets, like setting out for condiments. And I like my tuna fish with mustard. Like when I make it, it's mostly mustard, a little bit of mayonnaise, preferably some diced onions and diced pickles, a little bit of pickle juice in there, some fresh crushed pepper. And every once in a while, I'll just put a little fucking garlic powder in there. Condom mints. Yes, Paul T. Jonathan Hughes says, it's so easy to make your own Egg McMuffins. All you just need is an egg ring. I have 2 egg rings, but I don't necessarily want to take the time before work to make stuff. But I'll make all kinds of shit like that on the weekends. But yeah, I actually have 2 egg rings, and I keep Thomas's English muffins, or whatever English people would actually call them. I don't know. They're like the I don't fucking know. How do you describe an English muffin to an English person? I guess because it ain't like a fucking muffin to them. Like everything's named weird. Um, but no, I have the stuff to make egg rings. Yeah, like a silicone ring that's about the size. Yeah, it's like 4 inches or so, 4 or 5 inches in diameter. It's a silicone ring. You set it on your pan when it's hot, with your little spray, non-stick spray, and then you crack the egg right in it, and it just makes a perfect egg ring, like a McDonald's sandwich, or, your typical fast food sandwich egg patty thing. It's fucking great. An English muffin is like a crumpet. Okay. Yeah, I have no idea. All I know is, was it biscuit and cookie? I don't get that because biscuits here are absolutely fucking nothing like a cookie. But a crumpet is a cheap yeah. And let's not talk about cigarettes. Good grief. All right. Dry, poofy bread. That's a pretty good description of it. Well, I like the bagels at McDonald's. I really like their bagels for some reason. I do get Egg McMuffin every once in a while. Like if I have, like, my sleep cycles have shifted. At this point, I sleep like 3 hours and then 3.5 hours, 3 hours, 3.5 hours. That seems to be working out a little better for me. So sometimes in the morning when I'm heading to work, I'll get that steak, egg, and bagel cheese bagel meal, whatever. And then I'll also get a egg and cheese McMuffin, usually a ham, egg, and cheese McMuffin, egg McMuffin with it as well if I know I'm going to be really hungry or if I'm going to be working extra long. Because I usually if I'm working extra late, I'm not going to have a chance to go get something to eat. So I just take breakfast with me and I just eat it cold all day. And whenever I don't finish, I'll just eat on the way home from work if there's anything left. But I'm usually pretty fucking hungry by the time I'm on the way to work. And I find eating like that just keeps my metabolism fucking flying. And then when I get home, I just eat bigger meals and I'm good to go. Only problem is, once I get home, since my metabolism is already in fucking high gear, I eat big meals and I burn right through them big meals. So it's no surprise that Standard Chap ends up talking about munchies, says Mike and Co. Absolutely. I just killed my bag of Doritos last night, but I'm getting ready to crack open. I just remembered I have French onion dip and a fresh bag of Ruffles potato chips because Ruffles have motherfucking ridges. Fuck yeah, they do. Standard Ruffles are my favorite potato chip. I'm pretty good with, was it Lay's Wavy? Lay's Wavy chips are pretty good. That used to be my shit. But then I tried Ruffles Ridges, and I'm all about that shit. Make cholesterol. My cholesterol is interesting. Something with my family. Okay. Okay. The light behind me caught my eye. My family history with cholesterol is interesting. My LDLs and HDLs are they're like, they're high, but they're not real high. They're like just over normal levels. But my triglycerides are fucking like spiked. Like apparently normal triglycerides on like the scale is like under 100. And everyone in my family, like we ride around on like the 4 and 500s. My triglycerides are usually around 450. But like that's normal for me. Step on the scale, Scruff. If I step on the scale right now, it will say 207 pounds. I'm pretty steady with 206 to 207 pounds. So what's that, like 98 kilograms or something? I've been as high as 285 pounds, whatever that is in kilograms. So 6'1", 6'2", depending on the day. 206, 207 pounds. So that works. Well, stop leaning back in the chair. I'm not even leaning back in the chair at this point. I just keep sliding a little bit. It's like the back and the bottom are like that kind of breathable mesh thing, but it sits a little lower than I like, so I actually have a cushion on it to level it out and kind of push me up a little bit. 14.78 stones. So 15-ish stones. That's not bad. I've managed. It's funny. I used to hike a lot, like way too fucking much, like kind of against my will, basically. Um, and then like the whole divorce thing went down. I didn't have to deal with that shit anymore. And then I got this Amazon account, and turns out I'm walking anywhere from 5 to 8 miles a day just in that warehouse. So like I'm actually getting more exercise now than I was when I would hike every day. Let me see. Let's see what I did this week. Because I typically keep my phone in my pocket. I don't wear my watch to work anymore. I have a Samsung Galaxy 3. I got that when I was field service manager. It was kind of put upon me like, hey, your manager should have a nice watch, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, yeah, okay. So, got that handled. What the fuck? I've never had to. Why are there so many fucking things? What in the world? There used to be a way to just go right to your steps, but it's not. I don't know. I'll have to sort that out. That's weird because like it pops up when you're just walking around. It's like, hey, good job, you did this, this, and this. But then you go into the app and it's like nothing. There's EKG, like that's doing nothing for me. Where's my step count? That's weird. Drink, smoke, 720. Oh, yep. I got it. Cheers. Cheers to influential medicinal things that we take at certain times of the day. Oop. Oh, here it is. What the fuck? Yeah, I agree. Goddamn. Let me see my walking history. That's not working either. This is so weird. Oh, okay. Here we go. Good grief. Let's see. 6,400 steps. 8,390 steps for 4 miles. 6,000 steps for 3 miles. 4,500 steps for 2.5 miles. 8,350 steps for 3.9 miles. 10,834 steps for 5 miles. And that's just when I'm at work. That doesn't account like going to the store and shit. That warehouse is fucking big. And you have to walk to find everything. Everything. Mr. Eggcake says, the nurse says I'm obese at 15 stones. Well, apparently I'm obese at 207 pounds. Apparently for me, I should supposedly be at like 185 or something. I'm like, I don't know. I'm really fucking comfortable where I'm at, so I think I'm good. You can call me all the stupid names you want to, just to make me want to have to like get deeper into the system to get medications and help and all that dumb shit, or I can go, you know what? I'm pretty fucking comfortable the way I am right now. So I'm going to rock that, and I'm going to feel pretty fucking healthy about it, because it's not like I'm eating a bunch of garbage. Making fresh food. I only fucking, order out once a week. My breakfast choice is questionable, but I spread it out throughout the day. It's got a mix of carbohydrates, protein, a little bit of dairy, a little bit of everything mixed all in. And I drink, 30 ounces of coffee typically a day. I think my, oh shit, yeah, I should close that poll. My bad. End poll. Thank you, Christian. Let's see. When you're at a buffet, do you bother getting sides? 67% gets everything. 25% get meats. 5% don't do buffets, and 1% are veg only. That's not bad. That's more meaties than I thought there would be. That's cool. 25%. I know, like I said that once to a buddy of mine that like kind of lived at buffets, and I was like, dude, they're just giving you that shit so that, hey, what's up, Lika there? It's like, dude, they just make you get the sides so that you don't eat the good stuff. Why do you think they give you a shit ton of free corn on the cob when you go to like all you can eat crab buffets? Like up in Maryland, you can go sit there and you sit there and they just bring you usually a dozen at a time, like medium sized crabs. But then they bring you like corn on the cob or like, hey, you want some more soda? Or no, I want iced tea. Okay, well, hey, we got Coke we got a special on Coca Cola. Like they do everything they can to get you filled up on the bullshit so you don't eat the crabs. And I'm like, no, thank you. I'm going to do that. And I usually eat like medium sized crabs. I eat between 3 and 4 dozen on a typical sitting of medium sized crab, which I don't know. It seems like a lot of people think that's a lot, but that's about about right for me anyway. No blue crab buffet with a hammer. You can it's not quite a buffet. You just sit at the table and they just bring them to you, as opposed to getting up and like have them sitting around, on an actual buffet thing. They just bring them to you, so it's kind of a buffet. It's just an all you can eat crab thing. The last I went, they were like, it was like maybe 30, $40. Most of them have like a 3 or 4 hour time limit, which I generally hit, which that's fine because if I ain't doing shit, then I'll just chill and give me my little hammer and my little butter knife, and I'll just pick at crabs all night. Drink my iced tea, a little bit of extra lemon on there because I like no lemon in my iced tea when I'm having crabs. Helps counter the salt for me. I've had Maine lobster. I've actually been to Maine. I actually drove through. She drove through Bangor, Maine when I was a Stephen King fan, just to kind of go through. That was cool. Chipmunk says the out thing is scruff. Caviars. Caveries in the UK do the opposite. They already got your money and have to prep the food. Then they offer you free reign on the salad bar. Yeah, a lot of places will give away a free salad bar too, because that's all cheap shit. Clang almost drink. Yeah, I'm working on it. I'm getting a little more spatially aware of the microphone. And the GPU hasn't crashed, so that's good. I'm going to beat the shit out of it with some. I think I may play some Doom Eternal tonight. I haven't played that a lot yet. That'll whoop this CPU's ass pretty good. So I think I may do that tonight. Just see if I can make this fucker sweat. See if I can get it to crash. Because that's a pretty aggressive overclock for this. But we'll see. Didn't mind KSP2, which is pretty abusive in its own mind. I was actually running KSP2 and what's it called? Combatter or something? The MSI Afterburner stress tests. So I was running 2 sources of GPU abuse when I was stress testing it earlier. Crashed a couple times before I found the sweet spot. Osborne is off to bed. Good night, Scruff Dog and friends. Good night. Have a good evening. And we'll actually be stopping in like 5-ish minutes. We'll do a double woofle at the 30, and then we'll get ready to sign off. And then I'm going to go... I got ground beef. I gotta see if I have the ingredients. I might do some meatloaf tonight because I have an onion, and it's really good with fresh onion. I get like a 1.25 pounds of ground beef. I guess that's a pretty universal thing out there, through the meat grinder. Like a 1.5 pounds, 1.25 pounds of ground beef. You get like a medium or 1 medium, 1 large onion. Dice it all up, mix that shit together. Put it in a cup of breading. Like panko seasoned breading, cup of that in there, like a 1/2 cup of Parmesan, like shredded Parmesan or Romano cheese. Dump that in there. 1/2 cup of cheddar, put that in there. 1/2 cup of milk, almond or dairy is fine. some salt and pepper, a little bit of Montreal steak seasoning, just a pinch of paprika. If you have diced fresh garlic, put that in there. Otherwise, about 2 tablespoons of garlic powder. Mix that shit all together. Put that in a loaf pan, like a 6x9 or 5x9 ish loaf pan. And then take a half a cup of ketchup, half a cup of mustard, preferably like brown mustard, and half a cup of brown sugar, light or dark. I usually use light. Mix that shit all together and adjust to your flavor, and then put that shit as a topping on top of it. Put it in the oven for 350 or what's that, like 165 degrees Celsius, 350 Fahrenheit for like an hour. It's fucking great. Don't cover it or anything. Just cook it as is. Let it rock. It's really good. Ribs, I have a really good rib recipe. I'd have to look it up to find out what it is. But when I cook ribs, it's difficult to eat them because I can't. It's difficult to get them out of the pan because you can't grab anything without it just falling the fuck off. Like I usually just grab the bone and just pick the bones out of the pan, and then just grab handfuls of meat. God, I haven't made ribs like that in Christ, 7 or 8 years. I think I know where that recipe is too. That's a good reminder there, Paul T. Ribs. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Maybe once I get all this, once I get the kitchen, once I get the kitchen sorted back out, and I'll see about doing cooking with Scruff, and we'll see. We'll see. Maybe we'll do some ribs. But it is time for the final woofle sessions. And then we will say a good evening. And then we'll say, hold on, let me do that again. And then we'll say, good evening. Hey, Scruff, your mini computer is on speed. Was that for mouse? This one, this one, yes, this is a mouse pewter. I just received a substantial order from him. Those are also up there. That's one of his stars, and that's one of his mini pewters. And then there's that little white space up there is a shitload more mouse pewters and mini pewters and clovers and a heart and Christmas trees. I got a whole bunch of stuff. Just wanted to stock up all at once. All right, let's do a Verte Woofle first. Scruff Dog, tomorrow night's stream. Tomorrow's stream will be at 3:05 Eastern, like last week's Sunday stream. So, like, for me, Clive starts his normal stream at 4:05. So it'll be 1 hour before Clive's normal time tomorrow. That is when I'll be doing the KSP stream. I will post that link within a couple minutes of ending this stream. So that'll be up shortly. But for now, let's woofoo cam. All right. Where are we at? There we go. Whoa. Woo. All right, there we go. And yep. And Thermo Woofle coming up. Back it up a little bit. What's up, girl? She's hanging out under her water dish. One more. Ah, crap. Regular lighter. This lighter either has a leak or it didn't get much butane when I tried to fill it. I don't think it took enough butane. I'll have to mess with it. Not bad, though. Not bad. That was a harsh reset. Let me flip that back around. Where's that towel at? Doo-doo-doo-doo. Cheers, Mike and Co. Cheers to everybody. And it is about that time, ladies and gentlemen, and everyone else. Thanks for stopping by the first episode of Clive After Clive. I guess I'll probably do these about every 2 weeks. And the next one will be working on the Lego. Yeah, still chilling and chatting, but it'll be like me up in the fucking hell. It'll be like me up in the corner, and then like a view of the just messing with Legos and just doing our thing. So that'll be in 2 weeks. We'll see how quickly it goes. We may split that into 2 sessions, or we may just power through it and just do a really long, like probably 5 or 6 hour session with Legos. Like, if we're starting to stream at like 5:30 like today, I'd be fine going fucking just powering through that bitch. So maybe plan for that if you want. But either way, we'll see what happens. Thanks for hanging out, everybody. Still got about 70 people here. Cheers to you real quick. A toast to everyone that hung out. I appreciate it. I don't do this much if you've been here, but if this is your first time around, like click the buttons and shit. All right, moving on. Thanks for everybody for stopping by. Cheers to everyone, and cheers to Kevin, Christian. I hope everyone has a great rest of the weekend. And I will see you tomorrow, or today for some of you. And then next week, I will should be doing a drone stream on Sunday. But my drone streams are usually like at 1:05, so a few hours earlier. But we'll chat about it. We'll talk about it. We'll rock it out. What's up, Scott Wade? Just saw you. Goodbye. Goodbye to everyone. And I will post the KSP stream here. Like, it's queued up. It'll be posted within probably 2 minutes or less. So if you don't see it immediately, then just check my homepage, and it should be there within a minute or two. So thanks for stopping by, everybody. And I'll talk to you tomorrow and next week and everything else. Be groovy and have a great time. We will stop this stream in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.